I am very disappointed in you. Yes, you bought games on Steam, that's nice, but look at them. How are these your choices? Pal World? Lethal Company? Sonic Frontiers? Why would you play these?
Why? Why
would you play this purposely ugly horror co-op game? You disgust me. You're a sheep. You see other people play these games and you buy them too. Maybe your friends or your favorite influencer, but you just do what they do without even thinking for yourself. And now we have a culture on Steam where marketing is the main skill a game dev needs to master. Forget about making a good game that you want to play. You better make a game that looks good in a 10 to 20 minutes video. You think you picked those games that you bought? Nah, you eat up the slop served by the YouTube algorithm or your favorite streamer. They play what's popular, you buy what they play, and it's a never-ending circle jerk where the least interesting games get all the sales. Do you watch game reviews before you buy games? Or do you just buy them because you see someone else play them? Do you listen to top 10 lists of the best games you could play? No, that doesn't get views. No, what are you doing? You clicked on a top 10 worst games? How does that benefit you in any way? You're not gonna buy them. Oh my god, what a waste of time. And the game reviewers, are they doing a good job? No, they're just giving out 9s and 10s to the popular games and call it a day. Nobody looks for good games anymore, it's blowing my mind. Everyone's gone insane. I don't even know if I want to keep making these videos. Every year I make a top 10 list and it hardly gets any views. In 2021, I picked Temple of Snack to be my game of the year and nobody has bought it. That game is finally out of early access and now it has 90 reviews and there isn't even a walkthrough yet. What do you expect me to do? Solve all the puzzles myself? I'm not that smart. And it's a very long game, much longer even than this mighty snack. And this is shameful. It's a really fun puzzle game, and despite my glowing review, probably less than an estimated 2,000 people bought it. Here you have a professional game developer giving his hard researched opinion on the best games you can buy for your money, and nobody cares. Great, nobody takes me seriously. I don't even know if I should keep making these videos. Is anyone going to check out these 10 games that I've picked this year? Is anyone even going to click on this video? I picked a negative title to trick you into listening to my top 10 list. But I'm seriously disappointed in your buying habits on Steam, so I think the title is warranted. Anyways, here is my number 11 on the list, Terrascape. Wow, this cute little game where you place hexagons to score points only has 500 reviews. They probably hardly made enough money to pay half the dev team. I found it because I looked for a game that is like Dwarf Romantic, a game that actually got a lot of attention despite being very poorly optimized. And I was pleasantly surprised, it's not actually very similar to Dwarf. It's more like that game called Islanders, but with hexagons, and much more detailed graphics. A very unique challenge too. If people were searching Steam more carefully, more people would find this hidden gem. And then maybe they would build a hexagonal mine on it to get the maximum amount of points. Number 10, Despots game. This one actually got 2,500 reviews and sold decently well. And it's an interesting take on a game where you have an army of guys that fight automatically, but you still have to make interesting choices anyways when it comes to finding items and composing your soldiers. And making sure you don't constantly run out of food. They also made this slime game recently, but it wasn't as good. They put a lot of effort into these beautiful pixel sprites, so it's good they managed to reuse it for the slime game as well. It sure is annoying that your soldiers have no self-preservation instinct, but I guess it makes perfect sense in this game where humans are considered to be so disposable. On the bright side, you're not expected to waste your time clicking on them and sending them to the back, like you would in an RTS game. So that's interesting about this genre, you know. Number 9. Nuclear Blaze. Another one with less than 500 reviews, but since it's all pixel art, it's probably not as expensive to make as Terrascape, so maybe they only went partially hungry. Nuclear Blaze is a game where you are a firefighter, and you have to storm into this crazy science facility as it catches on fire. It's pretty cool. It's like a little platformer, but putting out the fire is the really hard part, and that's an interesting concept. Sadly, the ending is a bit of a letdown, but it's still a great thing to explore this facility while trying to douse the flames. Also, there are fire bees. How cool is that? Maybe you can put out the fire of their hunger, as these starving artists are hardly getting by with the hose of your wallet. Number 8. Cult of the Lamb. I finally played it and it was okay, but you don't have to buy it. It already made way too many sales in my opinion, and I only tried it because they said they would delete it because of the Unity CEO. Pretty based, but I'm kinda disappointed they didn't delete it. Now that would have been a great experience, playing that game and then it immediately gets deleted. Oh well, maybe one day. Number 7, Mushroom 11. Oh my god, this game is like 5 years old and it only has 130 reviews. Wow, that poor guy, he probably lost a lot of money on making that game. Good thing he seems to be a solo dev so he doesn't have to pay a team. I played it on stream a really long time ago but never finished it, until now. And it was great, short and sweet, nicely disgusting, unique controls. I love how much they did with just this core mechanic and without the need for story or NPCs. A true inspiration and a huge disgrace that nobody bought it on Steam. People have no damn taste. Eating this mutant mushroom would be more pleasant than looking at your Steam library. I bet you bought Fall Guys even. I bet you just couldn't help yourself. I bet you saw your friends played and you just couldn't be left out. Did you even play it? I bet you just bought it. You could have bought a good game instead. I never actually played Fall Guys. Number 6, Dome Keeper. Okay, maybe I'm just like you know, I just saw the sleek, simple graphics, and I saw the engineer played, and I wanted to mine some cute blocks. And it was actually a really good game, until I realized that it ironically lacks depth. But I still got a pleasant 20 hours of gameplay out of it, so it's definitely worth buying, but don't feel obligated, it already has 10k reviews, so they probably made way more than their money back. Maybe even enough to buy a house. Good for them. Number 5, Warhammer Boltgun. I never got into retro shooters, or actual shooters when they came out. I never played the Doom clones. So this was a good opportunity to get into these shooters, and also into Warhammer. And it was a fun little game. It's about as successful as you'd expect, and as it deserves, with a 10k reviews, not too bad. It may be kind of repetitive, but I enjoyed the atmosphere. I sure wish they could have made more different bosses. WTF, they are just sprites. Couldn't you have just made different ones, you lazy bums? But at least they have round toads that shoot their tongues at you. I find that strangely familiar for some reason. By the way, I think it's safe to assume that between 2 and 5% of users write a review. So if I want to make a good guess of how much money each game has made, I usually just take the number of reviews, multiply it by 20, as if 5% of users had written a review, and then multiply it by the price of the game. Now there's probably less than 5% who wrote the reviews, so the game would have made more money by that estimation, but then there's also sales, and then the people bought the game for cheaper. And then they used VPNs to buy the game from Turkey before Steam got wise to that trick. And you can't do that anymore, so anyways, I just take it times 20, and I think that's a conservative estimate. I mean, it's pretty unlikely that 5% of the people write a review. Like, most people just buy the game and don't even play it. So, the number of people who don't play the game is vastly higher than the people who write a review, you know, after they buy it. Well, thanks for the money anyways, I guess. Ha! Anyways, with that insight on game financials out of the way, here's number 4, Fortix 2. I bet you never heard of this one, 260 reviews, but it's also a fairly simple game. Could have been a flash game, but I enjoyed it. I had a great time. You move around and you slice pieces of the world off and make it safe for monsters. I love this genre of game, and I wish someone would make more games like this. Sadly, in this one the enemies are a little annoying, especially those with homing projectiles. But the game is very addictive and I love it. Definitely buy this one for the good old times. This came out in 2011. Wow. If you're wondering why my top 10 list has games that aren't from this year, well, it's because I just care if the games are good and not when they were made. So I make a different list each year, and the games can't be on the same list twice. So I get less and less of the good old games that I like, and I keep finding new games that are moderately recent, and here they are. I just love that this game exists, because this genre of game is nearly dead, and this is the only good one that I could find. I bet you want to play it just from looking at it, or is that just me? Maybe it's nostalgia or something. You know, I just played like one demo where you were like underwater and you had to cut off a level to make it safe for monsters, and it was just like that, and I can't find that game anywhere, but I could find this, and this is decent, so yeah. Anyways, number 3, it's Gris, or Gris? No, it's definitely not Gris. Okay, this game has 60,000 reviews, which of course means life-changing money, baby! But they probably need it, guess their mother died or something, and all they got was this artsy game. Very poetic and beautiful, kinda slow at first, but it's really interesting. I love how much they did with these simple mechanics. Look how much these simple shapes can convey. And it's probably fairly hard to get this nice hand-painted look going. Okay, despite its good success, you should probably really check this one out. There's some really dumb video essays where they talk about how meaningful the game is and shit, and it's another big one. Video essays are a great way to make something popular, way better than any marketing you can do yourself. Guess they just got lucky. Or maybe they played the long game, making a game that's so artsy that the video essay channels just couldn't help themselves but mention how meaningful it was. Good job, I guess. Number 2, Potion Craft. 30,000 reviews. Solid numbers. Really addictive little game where you stir potions in a very unique and interesting way. And the whole thing looks like it's out of one of those medieval books. Great art style. I love the faces of these peasants when I give them their potions. Sadly, the story is really weak in the late game and the quests are really repetitive. But the mechanics are really so deep and it's all worth it. I really hope they revamp the story. Despite it being out of early access, I feel like they are still going to give it a big content update one day. It's only going to get better, I guess. Number 1, on Garde. Oh my god, this game is almost AAA quality, and it only has 1,700 reviews. This really breaks my heart. I guess the variety of enemies is fairly conservative, but they managed to keep each encounter unique, and they are all very mechanically different, and that is awesome. Each enemy type has their own personality. And this is some kind of mix between Ass Creed and Prince of Persia that we all deserve. I just wish it was longer. Oh no, is this history repeating itself? Oh no, it's just like when they stopped making Prince of Persias. Oh, we'll never get another one of these because it didn't sell well enough on Steam. Oh my god, please buy this hidden gem. Don't let the evil Duke tax these peasants so that they won't be able to afford this game. Pick up your sword and say the name of the game. On Garde! Oh, by the way, there's no blood in this game, so it's probably no fun specifically for you, Mumkey, but everyone else should really enjoy it. Yeah, the soldiers just lay on the ground and they're knocked out. Sometimes they even talk still.
Should we go for drinks after this?
Sometimes they even complain that you defeated them, you know, when they're laying there. Because the game is like one of those really cheesy Zorro comics or whatever. And I think it's really neat in its own way. The dialogue is a little too cheesy, so feel free to mute it if it bothers you. The controls may feel a little strange at first, because dodging every attack and spamming roll doesn't work. You gotta parry or dodge, depending on the attack, but once you learn it, you see that it's actually really thoughtful doing it that way. It's surprisingly difficult, so you might get a good challenge out of it. Or maybe I've just gotten really bad at games. Alright, that was the list. Did I trick you into watching the whole list by framing it through my disappointment in the consumer behavior? Or did I alienate you by being too controversial? Man, I really wish I could do this. I really wish I could tell people about cool games and they'd actually go out and play them. But sadly, I don't have that power. I don't get the views. I'm not a big influencer, and if I was, would I just have to resort to playing the popular games to continue being relevant? Maybe I could build a brand around that, like my friend Random Game Reviewers. He just plays random games and reviews them. That's an awesome concept for a channel. I hope more people check him out. Too bad he only plays PlayStation, that console peasant. Alright, see you next year with another brilliant top 10 list. Subscribe! Hopefully you enjoyed my insight on the sale numbers of these games as well. I really don't get why people don't look for more quality games. Most games are just popular because someone big played them, but they didn't really review it or anything. Would you buy a car just because someone else has that car? Or would you look up what car has the best stats? If you're an Elon Musk fan, you probably said no, I just buy what's popular. Electric car? There's other brands that make them? No, I just buy a Tesla anyways. Is it the worst car? Is it gonna break down? Is it gonna drive into a wall when you turn on the autopilot? Probably yes. Still gonna buy it. I saw it's popular, so I bought it. But for the sane people out there, why don't you do some research before you buy a game? If you go see a movie, you check out the reviews, do you? Well, not me, because I do reviews myself. But anyone who wants to have a good time, don't you want to see a movie that's actually good? Never mind. Movie reviewers are all hacks and don't listen to them. But if you buy a house, wouldn't you want to use a real estate agent who can tell you what to look for? You wouldn't just buy the first house where you see an on sale sign, would you? So why do you just play games when you just see, oh, it's popular, might as well buy it, you know? Look for higher quality games. Do it for me. Didn't I do it for you? Didn't I do it for you, Kermit? Bye, everyone.